it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you didn't already. I post every day the rest of this week, and today in this video I'm going to talk about my top 10 candies I don't recommend having at the movies. Now these are candies that I don't think people should eat at the movies, but if you like to eat them and you can eat them quietly at the movies, that's totally fine. These are candies that I just don't recommend eating at the movies just because they are quite noisy when you eat into them and you might disturb the other people around you. And just a quick disclaimer, I'm not saying you're not allowed to have these candies at the movies. I'm only just saying if you do have these candies at the movies, be quite careful because they are quite loud when you chew in them. So I'm going to get started. And let me know if you guys have ever had any of these candies before, and if you recommend them for the movies, if you can chew them quietly. But if you like, and I'm not saying I hate these candies, like I said before, these are just candies that I don't think that I don't eat when it comes to the movies. And one of them I accidentally did by mistake. So I'm gonna get started. So number one on my list would have to be Nerds. Now, the reason I don't recommend Nerds for the movies is just because they are so loud and noisy when you're eating into them. I definitely made the mistake of getting a box of Nerds when I went to the movies with my mom, and she had to take my candy away because I wouldn't stop eating them so loud. So note to self, don't bring Nerds to the movies. Now that's just for me and stuff. And I love Nerds in general, but I just don't get them anymore when I go to the movies just because they are so noisy. And I have a video of story about how I accidentally ate Nerds in the movie, which I'll link down below if you didn't see. Number two on my list would have to be Lemonheads. The reason I wouldn't recommend Lemonheads for the movies is because Lemonheads are so incredibly hard and very noisy to eat. One second, sorry. So the reason I don't recommend Lemonheads is because they're very loud candy as well, and you might disturb the person next to you at the movies. I know and I've never had these at the movies before, and I know a lot of people love Lemonheads, and I love Lemonheads in general, but I don't buy these when I go to the movies because they are so incredibly loud. Number three on my list had to be a Tootsie Pop. Now, Tootsie Rolls I suggest for the movies, but Tootsie Pops I don't recommend just because they have the hard candy on the outside because they are quite noisy. And especially when you bite into the hard candy on the outside when it's gone too close to the thing, it is still very, very noisy and it might bother the person next to you. Number four on my list would have to be Jolly Rancher hard candy. Now the reason I don't recommend this is because if you bite into it, you're going to make so much noise, and it's a very hard candy to chew, and it's just really noisy in general. And it's okay to have it not at the movies, but I just don't recommend it for the movies just because it's so noisy, especially when you bite into it. Number five on my list has to be Lifesaver hard candy. Now, I do love Lifesaver hard candy. Lifesavers are so incredibly good, but I never buy these when I go to the movies just because they are very loud because I can't handle not biting into them. I try to go down a bit to make them smaller, so then I don't make so much noise and stuff, which is kind of a good thing because it's like a good tip with hard candy is you have to put it in your mouth for a while so it dissolves a little bit, and then once you get it thin enough, it's okay to bite into it. But I just don't recommend it for the movies just because it's very noisy when you bite into it early. Number six on my list would have to be Starburst Pop. Now, the reason I don't recommend this at all because also this is a very noisy candy because it's crunching and crunching and crunching, especially when you're biting into it if it's thin enough. It's very noisy when you crunch into it. And it goes crunch, crunch. But still, it's a really good candy. I mean, it's okay to eat outside of the movies, but it's a candy I just don't really recommend to have at the movies just because it's very noisy. Number seven on my list would have to be Dum-Dums. Now, Dum-Dums I don't recommend for the movies at all either because Dum-Dums are very loud as well. When you bite into them early, and they do get stuck in your teeth quite a lot. And it's very annoying, and they're just very loud in general, especially when you're hitting them against your teeth. Number eight on my list would have to be Warheads. Now, I don't recommend Warheads for the movies just because this is a very loud, hard candy as well, and it's very noisy. It might disturb the person next to you because it's just a very noisy candy, especially when you bite into it. Number 9 on my list would have to be M&M's Pretzels. Now, I love pretzel M&Ms. They're one of my favorite things to eat. Favorite M&Ms of all time, and I do enjoy them. And I have a review on pretzel M&Ms, which I'll link down below if you didn't see. I really like pretzel M&Ms. They're super good, but I just don't recommend them for the movies just because they are very crunchy and they do make a lot of noise. They're really delicious in general, but they just make a lot of noise when you crunch into them. Number 10 on my list would have to be M&M's Crisp. Now, I don't think I've ever tried M&M's Crisp, but I do love crisp in candy giving one. Sorry. And they're really good. I heard they were really good, and I would love to try them because they sound like they're really good, but I just don't recommend them just because these are also very noisy because there's a lot of crunching and munching to them, and like I said, you might disturb the person next to you for the movies. So this goes to show you, when you go to the movies, always pick candies that aren't noisy, like Starburst and stuff. But I mean, it's okay to have these candies outside the movies, but just don't have them in the movies. So those are my top 10 candies I don't recommend having at the movies. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and like I said before, I do love these candies, but these are candies that I would not get when I go to the movies just because they are quite loud. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day the rest of this week, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!